Good morning, everyone. Thank you once again for being with me as I have the opportunity to share with you the great work that my detectives have done. As I've told you in the past, my detectives who work sex crimes investigations against children, child pornography investigations, are simply the very best in the entire world. And once again, working with the state attorney's office, you can see the number of people we've arrested. There are 16 listed here, and I have a bonus for you that we arrested earlier in the year that I'll talk about. 16 here. These folks are deviants. We served a total of 25 search warrants so far in this investigation, and make no mistake, it's not over. So the charges you see here today are only representative of what they have been charged with up to this time. There's still a lot of forensics to do on their equipment. I'm sad to tell you that no child victims were located in this particular operation, but the investigations are still underway. Every time one of these folks receives, downloads, uploads the victim, a child victim who being sexually battered or in a provocative position, that child is victimized once again. And our ultimate goal is to find these children. Sometimes we do. Unfortunately, a lot of times we don't. In the state of Florida, if you're in possession of 10 or more child pornography photos, all of them are second-degree felonies. If you're in possession of less than 10, it's a third-degree felony. So when you're looking through the press release, that will help you understand. One thing that my detective shared with me yesterday is that we're seeing these deviants with child porn searching out younger and younger children. Not that children of any age are acceptable, but we see them becoming more hardcore and more deviant. We saw a lot of children this time, did you hear what I'm about to say, were less than 1 year old, when they were being attacked and sexually battered in video or in photographs that these folks possessed the child pornography. So when they like child pornography of children of any age, and then they're going down to 3 and 4 and 2 and 1 and sometimes only months old, it shows you how deviant they are. I'm also going to share with you today some personal interaction of our poster child. That's the last one I'm going to talk about, because sometimes I'm afraid we become kind of desensitized when I stand up here and say, well, they're in possession of child porn, because for more than obvious reasons, we can never ever disclose the child porn. So I don't think you really grasp how deviant these folks are by just looking at their pictures. But here's what I know, that we've added 1,409 new felony charges. That's right. 1,409, which means ultimately that we know that these photographs have been shared thousands of times in order to file this many charges. Most of these people have very little criminal history. They're ghosts to the criminal justice system. They're ghosts to law enforcement agencies. Why I applaud my detectives so much is that many police agencies across this country, and they should be ashamed of themselves, don't investigate this because it doesn't make any outside noise. The babies who are victims can't vote, they can't dial 911, and they're ignored. So these folks fly under the radar screen because many agencies won't dig down and find these ghost criminals who are committing these horrific crimes against babies. That doesn't happen here. We know, according to the Butner study, that 85% of child pornographers either have had sex with children or given the opportunity would have sex. in that particular study of the sexual deviants that were in jail for child pornography, 85% of them admitted that, yes, they had not just possessed the child pornography, but they'd had sex with children. So when you look at these folks, you see a scraggly bunch of folks. When I look at them, I see deviants. I see dangerous people. I see folks that are focused on child pornography and would attack your child if they got a chance. But let's take a snapshot, because you'll see they're not all people that have no reputation. In fact, our first one, John Aziz, is 35. He's a pharmacist contracted to the Heart of Florida Hospital. That's right, a pharmacist working at the hospital every day. Our detectives charged him with 72 counts of child porn with children as young as 18 months old that were being sexually battered. Plus, when we went to his house, guess what? We found Xanax, oxycodone, Oxycontin, without prescriptions. So that's right, he's apparently skimming drugs from where he works. We looked and saw what he was searching for, and it was 300 total child porn that he had advertised for. We charged him with 72 counts. That's enough to send him to prison for a long time. A pharmacist contracted to the Heart of Florida Hospital. Then you've got Arlandris Sims. And here's his roommate, Justin Hazan. Both of them are employed by Disney. And when we went to the house, we went after Arlandris Sims. And during the investigation where we charged him with 25 counts of child porn, we also found out that his roommate from Disney, Justin Hazan, also was looking at child porn. They didn't know that. So during the investigation, our detectives found it kind of humorous. Arlandris actually said, "You're doing it too?" I mean, they had a conversation. "You're doing it too?" Huh, guys? It really is a small world after all. Can you believe that? Then there's Stephen Lilly. He's 61, a TICO employee for 35 years. He's retired now. He retired during this event. He's married. He was viewing and downloading child porn, he said, for 2 years. I don't know that I believe that. How do you wake up at 59 years old with adult children and a wife and go, "Gosh, I think I'll go to the room and start looking at child porn"? Especially when you're charged with 100 counts of child porn. He admitted to us that he had viewed it at work computers, and at home. And he viewed this child porn of children as young as 1 year old. And then there's Edgar Cancelia. He's 38. He's a registered nurse in the intensive care unit of Osceola Regional Medical Center. He's got 2 children. He's married. His children are like 10 and 13. And he's looking at child porn. He's charged with 5 counts with intent to promote and 5 counts of promoting on Facebook child porn. He's a professional, a registered nurse, dealing with very sick patients in ICU, married with children. But you know what? He's a deviant, and he's dangerous. And then there's Monty Conway. Monty Conway. He's 64 and he's retired. He was searching for naked little boys as young as 2 to 3 years old. We charged him with 20 counts of child porn. And then there's 45-year-old neighbor Molina. He was seeking out child porn pictures of children as young as 18 to 36 months. We've charged him with 125 different counts. He's married and he has 7 children. Oh, and he's not in the country legal. He's been here illegal 30 years. ICE has a hold on him. ICE is going to have to wait because he's going to prison for a while first for his child porn. Then ICE can deport him. Jonathan Richards, we charged him with 300 counts of child porn, children as young as 1 year old. He's charged with the most counts of anyone on the board here today. He's 27. I'm not going to go through every one of them, but I've got one more before we get to the poster child. Scott Bradley. Scott is 49 years of age. Scott moved here from Concord, California in September of 19, less than a year ago. Well, Scott, I got a news flash for you and your wife. This ain't California. We don't see things the way they do. In fact, most of the world doesn't see things the way they do. Scott weighs in at a hefty 460 pounds. It took a truck to get him to jail. He's a big old boy. He's charged with 20 counts of child porn. Currently, he and his wife own a bookkeeping and tax business, as well as a travel agency called Wish You Were Here Vacations. I wonder if Scott, actually advertised online. I had a Wish You Were Here vacation. It was at the county jail. Well, he got him a chance to have a vacation at the county jail. He can advertise that. And if Scott will grab us up some more child pornographers and deviants violating the law through his firm, through his vacation agency, travel agency, we'll be glad to lock them up in jail too. Okay, here's the fellow we arrested in January. He's not on the board. We did a short press release on him. He's 58 years of age. His name is Jose Araza. We charged him with distributing child porn and attempting to purchase child porn. Well, here's the news flash. You look at this guy, Jose. You know what else he was doing online? He was purchasing sold underwear. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I said? There's a market out there. You can go online, and if you're a deviant and you're into sold underwear, and you know what all kinds of things get in sold underwear, right? Sometimes you think you're passing gas, and you're not. You can't trust a fart when you're over 60. But this guy will buy it. He was buying these things and ingesting them. Did you hear me? He was munching on them. This guy's got a problem. I don't know if he realizes it or not, but the rest of the world does. Why do I do that? Well, you'd think it was for some levity. It's not for levity. I want you to understand what deviants these people really are. He's married. He's got 2 adult children. He was an IT specialist in communication for Lockheed Martin with a master's degree from Florida International University. I just don't think they're very proud of their graduate. Lockheed Martin was equally troubled with this. They fired him upon his arrest. But this guy was doing those ugly things. Understand, people who pull down child pornography People who look at and lust after child pornography are dangerous people. And they may be living next door to you. They may be your wife or husband. Usually, I don't know that we grab women up in child porn. Women have better sense than that. But at the end of the day, this is one more roundup. Guardians of Innocence, number 5. Our promise is this. We promise always to protect our children, to try to find these deviants and get them locked up before they get to our children. We need help. These children involved didn't choose this, can't choose this. Many of them less than 1, certainly children up to 8, 10, 12 years old. We need to know where these babies are so we can rescue them. If you have any idea, let us know. Are there any questions?
Do you think that most of these kids are overseas? Because I find it hard to believe, and maybe this was because I'm very ethnocentric, that people in this country, or very many people in this country, would sell their kids to be abused. Maybe
No.
being...
At one time, the old thought was most child porn came from overseas. Not so anymore. Most of this porn is made in this country, in this state, because everyone's got these phones, and they're very good. They take high-resolution digital photographs and video, and they're getting better every day. So child porn can now be made very easily. It can be distributed very easily. And there's always deviants like this out there. And one of the shocking things, and I don't mind calling out my colleagues in law enforcement from around the state and the nation, if you're not in your neighborhood, in your community, seeking these people out and actively arresting them, what are you thinking? These are the ghosts, the criminals that are dangerous to the most delicate victims that we'll ever have. Go after them with a vengeance and lock them up. I'm very thankful for our prosecutor. Brian Haas, our elected state attorney, has this as a priority. Brad Copley, who is simply the best prosecutor across the nation, and I have worked at putting these kind of people in jail for decades. And Brad's still there locking them up today. God bless Brad Copley and his tenacity to go after and make sure these kind of folks are sent to prison for as long as possible. All right? Thank you very much. Have a great day. It's good to see you all today. Bye-bye.